Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kaz, and this is the 5th episode of my blind playthrough of Pillars of Eternity. I will be going back and looking at all the comments. I have recorded several episodes in a row so that I could go ahead and get a head start on all of this. This will be the 5th episode in the series and that I have recorded back to back. But please do leave comments and like and subscribe. Just let me know what you think so far. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like me, any advice you have for me for the series, for Let's Plays in general that you'd like to see me do better. Anything you'd like to see me change, and other than that, where we left off last time, or last episode, we had a wisp that we ended up fighting, and I wasn't able to do enough damage to it to kill it. It was not able to. It was doing damage to me. It was healing itself, and I was not able to do enough damage to actually kill it, and it was just dragging out and out and out. And I went ahead and I reloaded instead of just dragging that out to the inevitable conclusion of me dying, because I was not able to do enough damage to it. It amusingly enough also killed Wharton, so it's not my intention that I didn't reload because he died. I reloaded because I was eventually going to die, and it was going to make me reload anyway. I just was not going to sit through 20 minutes of watching that happen. So I just went ahead and reloaded, and so here we are, and we rested in the dungeon, and we apparently came face to face with a dead dwarf in our absolute terrifying nightmares. So what we're going to do now is, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the tree and I guess see, oh, I guess we're not going that way, and see if this dwarf is here. I guess we're going to talk to this guy again, I guess. Welcome to our lovely village, I guess. Oh my. Well, before we go talk to the glowing corpse, let's gather that. Okay, well, I guess we're going to... Okay. Caldara de Barenzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow then that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Well, I mean, any sane person would leave the body alone, but, you know, we are the hero of the story, so our sanity is always in question, so we're going to reach out for the woman. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear, or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
how are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Okay, yeah, I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child. Boy.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Yeah. Okay. What did you mean by when all goes well? Does that sounds like something that sounds like something can go wrong.
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
You're not helping. She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks. So she does have a beard.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Kadnua. So the AE seems to be the A sound. Okay. At least so far. Before I ask about that, I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
You let me be the judge of that. Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? She asks, as though we can't see the noose around her neck, like an absolute dunce. She laughs, hopefully at my idiocy. A rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery... gross. Buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer.
Thank you. I'm glad you laughed at me for asking such an idiotic question.
Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Yeah, so, something about that tells me that you were doing things I don't want to know more about.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
Yeah, well, he does sound like the kind that would be that way. What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are.
Oh, that's nice.
But the best of us? The best? Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
So you could actually go to an animancer and for the purposes of finding your soulmate, the man or woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and they could help you find that person. That would be amazing. Too bad such a thing doesn't exist.
Of course, dear.
Okay, so let's get to the question of the hour. I think I survived a bivouac. Do you know why that might be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing.
It could be, but it's not, is it?
Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
Or maybe we got stayed in one piece. You said souls break apart over time. Well, that's not exactly what she said, but we'll go with that. You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Alright, well, Caldera, thank you very much for the information. Disturbing though this entire encounter has been, I wish you farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. And apparently I was granted the Crucible of the Soul. That would be what now? Where? What? Okay, let's go to the journal. My notes. This is only a test. Yes, so for the carrier pigeons don't work. Biography. Okay, you hail from Adder, where you were born to a royal family, but your royal blood made you the object of jealousy and intrigue, and an attempt on your life would ultimately force you to leave your home behind. You went so far as to book passage to Gilded Vale, but you have planned no further than that, intending to see where life takes you. Wow, look at this. This is gonna get long, I see. You fell ill traveling with a caravan bound for Gilded Vale. The caravan master sent you off with one of his guides, Kalisha, in search of a remedy. While out searching for the remedy, you were ambushed and returned to your camp to find it slaughtered at the hands of angry locals. You dealt with them only to be nearly killed by a wind that threatened to shear your soul from your body. You escaped with Heoden and Kalisha into an ancient ruin. You emerged from the ruin to find a strange ritual being performed at some kind of ancient machine. There was a man there who commanded others, but there was something oddly familiar about him. As he left, the machine began to spin, generating some kind of energy, and there was a blast that felt like the windstorm you had encountered earlier. It turned the others who had been with him to ash, and neither Heoden nor Kalisha survived. You were knocked unconscious by the blast, and when you came to, you felt odd. You were seeing things, hearing things. You departed the ruins, attempting to reach Gilded Vale on foot, where hopefully you would be able to find someone who could cure you. When you arrived in Gilded Vale, you found that the town was not the growing and prosperous settlement you had been told it was. Instead, you found a dying town at the mercy of a phenomenon called Waidwin's Legacy, and received a cold welcome from the town magistrate. Your prospects of settling in Gilded Vale looked bleaker as it was, but they may have been totally dashed when the tolling bells of Redrick's Hold announced that their master's child had not been born in good health. The magistrate advised you to rest at an inn. When you tried to sleep, it was restless. Well, I didn't sleep at an inn. That's probably why. Full of encroaching whispers, and you experienced a vivid nightmare. You saw an old dwarf woman hanging from the tree in the center of Gilded Vale. She said a single word: Watcher. You approached the hanged dwarf woman from your dreams, and found that through some means you were able to converse with her. You learned that you are a Watcher, perhaps as a result of your brush with death at the ruins, and that this has given you some kind of otherworldly vision, though the dwarf was able to tell you few details. She advised you to speak to an old Watcher named Merwald, who is a master of a keep in the area and might be able to help. Visions. You have seen visions of another time and place. You were walking in a grand chamber toward a giant machine, and a man standing in front of it. You wanted to ask him something, but what it wasn't clear. Okay, so that's where we are thus far. I wish the biography would indicate where you left off.
17 and a half.
I'm sorry, what? The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk. Yeah, I kind of already talked to him.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway. Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved. The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you a moment, his brow arched, his smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a radrick at first.
Do you, like, sure, let's just go sharing knowledge like that. I've been out of sorts lately. What's it to you? No, we're not gonna be. Do you know what a watcher is? Let's just dive into that with a stranger. I've been out of sorts lately. Of course, we all got our bad days when we stand perfectly still and stare at corpses for a while without blinking. And apparently well, I could, I mean, it is none of his business. Fair enough. If folks around here minded their business, then that tree over there would have a few less wind chimes. Oh, maybe I should take heed. I'll leave you to your corpse staring. Dude! A few less wind chimes. That's harsh. Alright, well, where's the inn? Black Hound Inn, okay. Oh, what's this then? You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggests an elf. Oh, do we need help killing the elf?
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Ooh, a fight! Yeah, what's going on? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. Mocking us even while he shelters in our village. It just goes to show you why these fancy Adira manor. Goodness, it just goes to show you what these fancy Adira manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, and especially not from Adirans. Adir, the woman looks you up and down, and that means you too. Don't push us. You know, y'all are
Go
getting on my
on.
nerves.
Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
I'm starting to.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
What? Did he suddenly start channeling a dwarf? What is...
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
Yeah, okay. This is going well.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
There's multiple personalities on this guy? What's going on?
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. Back down, all of you. This is absurd. You're not going to take that from him, are you? I'm staying out of this one. I am so tempted to say that. I do not like elves, but that's me, not my character. This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be inside drinking than out here arguing? We don't take orders from any blazing Adirans. We don't take charity neither. Redneck. They squint at you through red, bleary eyes. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this then. All right. Well, this is going to go poorly for you guys. Oh my. Okay, well, we gibbed 2 of them. As the last of the attackers falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
Glad I could help! Gives you a quick smile. Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts, as is the company of a fellow countrywoman. He straightens his hood, and you note now the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is fine and sturdy.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Wow. You better have more to say for yourself than that. What? It's gonna be an interesting playthrough when I do an evil side. Tell me about yourself.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Griffin Ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Apparently I have a compulsive need to tell everybody that I'm... all kinds of details that will get me stabbed in the middle of the night in a back alley. Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Aloth goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward
You
laugh.
do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
Okay, well, how did you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did tell that one man to go, to do stuff to his sister. You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. Yeah, nah, dog, I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. Okay, well, what are you doing in the Gilded Vale other than picking fights due to poor choices of words?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And you? Like you said, I'm also a settler. I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls. Yeah, let's just like divulge our life story to a complete and absolute stranger, just because we just happen to help him. Apparently murder 3 drunks. I mean, the tree is... I mean, she might possibly be able to get up. I doubt it, but these 2, yeah, they're gone. No, that's my own business.
Of course, I didn't mean to pry. If there was ever a place for caution, this is it.
Yeah, you don't exactly look like
Begging
a
your
settler.
pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
Yeah, okay, well, I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
You know, so do I. Let's go.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Alright, well, you do that. Okay, so let's loot. We got some clubs, we got some simple clothing. Silver finning. Silver Lucia? Copper pond? Oh! Strange. Okay. Okay, well, we need to... Oh, no. Exit, cease, yes, cancel. We're going to cancel that, and we're going to save it. Save. And now we'll go in here and do this. Alright, well, lore, obviously. Wish I could zoom in. Lore and mechanics. Lore and mechanics. Alright. Oh my, okay. So spells, okay, so I can only choose from rank 1 apparently at the moment. What sort of wizard would you be though? Chill fog, radius, let's... No. Eldritch Aim grants the caster otherworldly sight. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording here, and I will come back when I have gotten through looking at all of this. I'm not going to bore you guys with this, so I will be back in just a minute for you. Alright, and I am back from doing all of that. So I picked up his spells, and we are good to go. I don't know if the other choices that I made are good or bad, but they are the choices that I made, so... Alright. We will find out eventually, I suppose. So let's go into the inn, and let's see what they've got for us in here. Alright, we got some villagers. Villager. Anyone seen Pearly around? He's usually drinking his head off at this hour of the day. Uh-oh. Alright, so...
How do you
hello. Greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for... Wait, what? Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Okay, well, let me see what I have to work with. No. Interesting. Okay, so rooms, recruit adventurers, store, retrain, party management. Okay, well, let's go to the store real quick. Stash. Oh, okay. Sell value high to low. Do you have a limited... You don't seem to have limited. Oh, that's right. Oh, well, in that case. Okay. Okay, we're gonna hold on to that for a minute. That's 7, okay. Sell all of that. Open helm. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to those for a minute. Keep at least one torch. Keep that. I don't have any intention of selling any of this. Okay, so now we have a lot of money. So let's go back to... wait. Hardy. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go back to recruiting an adventurer. What? I guess so? Oh, cool! So does this mean that you can create, like, hirelings? Okay, then in that case, I want to hire one of these. Hearth. Okay, hearth orlings are often found as slaves, blah blah blah. Original orlings, okay. Okay, so folks, I will be right back again. I'm gonna go ahead and get me a little hireling here, and then I will be right back. Alrighty guys, so I have two new additions to the party. I've got a Orlin and a Dwarf. The Orlin is a Chanter and the Dwarf is a Priest. I figured it wouldn't be a bad idea to have that that added to the group here, especially the Priest. And I wanted to try out the Chanter and see how that worked out. So here we go. We're gonna go wandering around the inn here, doing what adventurers do, going into places that they're really not supposed to be going into. That's apparently thieving. Certainly a different icon than what I had before. What do we got here? We'll take those. Okay. Nice and dry in here. The Black Hound Inn's a fine place. Just blah blah blah. Okay, so nobody really has. We have a drunkard. Do you have anything? And who are you then? Another fool come to answer Redrick's invitation. Our great lord had my sister run out of town after the what? The buoy? You ever... Do you not know what a buoy is? After the boy was born, she was the only family I had left. Not sure where she is now. Blazes, I need another drink. Okay, well, I'm not gonna help you with that. Okay, there's... Wait, what? Potion of Wizard's Double. There's a potion for that? Okay, well, I mean, alright. That's a little strange. Strom Brightblade and Selena Vertivo. Okay. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach out for the soul. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are all scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Aw. Wonder what happened there. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you, or reach out for the soul. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he loses this last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. So, was the first one intended to spook the deer out of hiding? Or was the first one a miss and you were just glad the second shot landed? Alright, well folks, we're about at the 40-minute mark here, so I'm going to go ahead and end this recording in this session here. I do want to thank you again for joining me. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.